What's going on, football fans? Today we're going to be talking about the 10 players that are most likely to get benched this season. Starting off, at number 10, I got DeAndre Swift. He was signed for a pretty big amount by the Bears this offseason. However, he's averaged just 3.2 yards per carry and has only went over 4 yards per carry once against the Rams, which has really propped up his average. He's been horrible this season. I think they need to give the ball more to Roschon Johnson. So Swift, one of the reasons why I think he's been overrated over the years is because he played for the Lions, who have one of the best lines in the league, and the next team he goes to is the Eagles, who have the best line in the league, at least at that time with Jason Kelsey. So I think that's why he's taken such a huge hit in his production. I think this is the player he's always been. He's just been helped out by the offensive line so much. And with the Bears' offensive line not being very good, he's not able to operate at very high of a level. So I think it's time to give other people some reps and maybe even bench him. At number 9, I got Joshua Palmer. Now, he's a 10% drop rate this season and only has 70 yards. This is a dude who's starting. He's playing most of their receiving snaps. I think they need to start dispersing that. They should probably give some more chances to their 7th round pick, Brendan Rice, son of Jerry Rice. He's kind of a similar receiver. He's like 6'3" also. He can go up and get it. He also can make plays after the catch. I really like he's pretty dynamic. So I think that those reps would be better used to develop some other players because I don't think Josh Palmer has shown anything this year. At number 8, I got Devin Singletary. He missed last week with an injury, but he's been averaging under 4 yards per carry. And the second Tyrone Tracy, the rookie out of Purdue, was able to come in. He had 130 rushing yards. I think this is a lot more about Tyrone Tracy because he's just such a good player, and a lot less about Singletary being bad. Tracy is a guy who I said at the beginning of the season, I said, this dude is going to be the starting running back by midseason. It's looking like it's on track for that. He's just been so good this season. He was actually a receiver most of his college career and then just barely switched over to running back in his senior year. So I think that he's just going to be a great player for the Giants. At 7, I got Will Levis. This really depends on how good of a team the Titans think they are. Because if they don't think they're very good, it doesn't really make sense to bench Will Levis. Just because you want to see what you have in him, just to see if he's worth, investing in and playing even more. However, just from what we've seen this season, he has 4 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and he's lost 2 games with stupid decisions. The Bears game with that pick six, and then he had that other one. I don't remember what game it was, but where he just pitches it backwards while he's completely in the air. That was just ridiculously stupid. I can't believe he would do that. But if you look at their coach, Callahan, he looks so angry every time he makes any of these plays. And if you watch any of his press conferences, it just looks like he hates Will Levis. So, and Mason Rudolph, when he came in, he looked pretty okay. So I think I'd just rather have Rudolph be running the offense if they think they're good. Obviously, if they don't think they're good, it doesn't make sense to bench him. At 6, I got Gardner Minchu. I think this could happen as soon as this week. You've seen Aiden O'Connell come in the last 2 weeks to end the game. And Minshew has 4 touchdowns to 5 picks. And he's got a good group of playmakers with Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams has played a few games. You also got Trey Tucker, who's been pretty good. And you look at Aiden O'Connell last year, he was able to put his players in position to make plays, even if he was able to make some stupid decisions. I think it just doesn't make any sense to not give him a chance, since obviously they're not going to do very much this season, and they're going to be one of those teams drafting a quarterback, unless, of course, Aiden O'Connell shows insane flashes. But that's why you want to put him in now so you can see if he's actually going to be a good player. Before we get into the top 5, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content because I'm going to post about 3 times per week about NFL content, completely just all NFL content, and it would really help me out. At number 5, I got Byron Murphy. He's leading the NFL in targets allowed, catches allowed, and yards allowed, so this is just terrible. He's only playing 85% of snaps, so it's not like he's playing every defensive snap, and it's just they played so many snaps, so he's just allowing so many yards. He hasn't even played that many snaps compared to most of the top corners in the league. So I think a lot of he's actually been sort of getting less and less playing time. So I can see this keep going down and down and down. Just because he's just not been that good this season. He hasn't been that good since he was in his 3rd season with the Cardinals. He's just been falling off every single season. He's looked like one of the worst corners in the league. At number 4, I got Ronald Darby. This guy, in my opinion, has looked like the worst corner in the league. He's 2nd in yards allowed and has 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions with a 45 quarterback rating when targeted. That's just terrible. You look at that first game against the Dolphins, I think 200 of those yards came from the Dolphins game. It was insane. He just couldn't hang in there at all. If this Jaguars team wants to win games, they're going to have to find one of their younger corners to come in and step in. I think a good guy to, pick up some of his slack and take some of his snaps would be Jarrian Jones. I really liked him coming out of the draft. He's just very athletic. I think he's like 6'2". Just a really good athlete. So I think that if you could get him to put it together, I don't see him doing any worse than Ronald Darby right now. So I see no reason just to put him in and see what he can do, because Darby is just terrible. At 3, I got Rachaad White, who's averaging 2 yards per carry less than Bucky Irving. Both of them have gotten a lot of carries, so this is actually like a real sample size. Bucky Irving has not been that good in his career. Last season, he was just terrible. He got so many fantasy points because of touchdowns and receptions. I still think he's a really good receiving back, can catch screens, really good after the catch, but for whatever reason, when he's going between the tackles, he's just a terrible running back. I think I saw a stat in week 1, he was averaging less than 2 yards per carry with a light box. I don't know how that's even possible. I feel like I could do that. So I think that they just need to make the change, give Bucky Irving more touches, because he's definitely earned them. At 2, I got CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't know why he's played so many snaps this season. He's got 4 touchdowns allowed and 0 interceptions, a 50 PFF grade, and he's like the most flagged player in the league. He is so annoying. He talks so much trash, and he's terrible. The Eagles got so many young safeties that I think you could bring in here to play the nickel or safety, just depending on where you want them to play, and take snaps away from Gardner-Johnson. They got Sidney Brown, the second-year player out of Illinois. I really liked what he did last season. He had a really nice pick 6, I think, against the Cardinals. He's definitely flashed a lot last season. I haven't seen much about him this season. They also got rookie Cooper DeJean, who can play safety or nickel, so I'd really like to see him on the field a lot more. And I don't know why CJ's playing so much. He's also missed so many tackles, so many more than I think the second safety in missed tackles. He just played so bad. And number 1 should be a shock to absolutely nobody. Deshaun Watson struggling with just such a talented offensive weapons. He's got Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy. He's also got Cedric Tillman, who I think is a really underrated player. He's got Elijah Moore. He's got David Njoku. So I don't see why this team isn't doing better. Also, they have one of the best interior O-lines in the league, and they're 1-4 this season. He has a 21 quarterback rating, just playing so bad. He's taken 26 sacks. That's the most sacks he's taken since 2020. It's 2024 right now, so that's just crazy. They're second worst in offensive EPA since 2000. Come on, why is he still in? They haven't scored more than 21 points in a game the whole season. They're the only team who hasn't done that. And they're just playing with the worst offense in all of football. Just play Jameis. He's so much better. Deshaun Watson's so bad. And Jameis Winston, even if he's going to have a 30-30 season, I think that's going to win them a lot more games than Deshaun's winning them right now, which is 0, because their only win, he just definitely got carried like crazy. That's it for the video. Hope you guys liked it. Like I said before in the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, because it really helps me out. See you in the next video.